5 of which expect to be major. Of course, Daniel McFarland, our forewarned meteorologist, he knows all about hurricanes and the danger that they pose. And Daniel, you don't like to hear things like that. Hurricane season runs from about the beginning of summer to November, and it's a long time for people to be worried.
Oh yeah, for people to worry about major ones, Robbie, those typically happen in the September, October, and even early November timeframe, so it's more late season. So early on, it might seem pretty quiet, but more can come our way.
But you could still get some bad ones earlier, middle of the season as well. I think that's what's terrifying for people when they hear the words, major or bad hurricane season. That's what their biggest fear is.
Yeah, definitely. And there have been some that started up very early. There's been some in June, but the problem is that the ones that develop really strong in the Atlantic too fast, they tend to spin away in the Atlantic. But then you start to get closer towards the end of the season. They start developing in the Gulf of Mexico, moving to places like Houston with Hurricane Harvey. And of course, we also saw Michael a few years ago too.
Yeah. Okay, no hurricanes here in Arizona, but we do have strong winds and we do have a fire watch we need to know about.
Yeah, so right now the big thing we're going to be tracking is going to be these winds increasing for the next couple days out there. I do think your strongest winds will be saved for tomorrow afternoon. A lot of us are going to be seeing potential for wind gusts once again as high as 30, 35 miles per hour. And it's not just going to be for those of you in, say, Stafford, Wilcox, and Benson. Instead, it's going to extend to places like Nogales and Sassabee. At least for this afternoon, I think at worst for Tucson, between 15 and 20 mile per hour wind gusts. So the worst of this is still going to be ahead for us. Over the next few hours, when it comes to these temperatures, though, this is going to be something that's a little bit interesting for the day today, because over the last couple days, there's been a bit more variety. We've had some spots stop as high as 62 or 63, but this is really the coldest morning we've had across the entire city in a few days here. So you see 55 near the airport, about 53 near the Air Force Base. If you go down near Nogales, about 46 down there, and Benson, 44 for you. And high temperatures are going to be warmer. So this tells me that the air is quite a bit drier, since we're going to be cooler than what we saw yesterday morning, and now we're going to have warmer temperatures during the afternoon today. We are looking at right around 90 to about 93 across most of the area. A few spots like Vail and Saddlebrook might get caught up in, say, 88 to 89 degrees, but I do think those areas might also have a bit more of a breeze than the other ones for later on today as well. Now closer towards Benson, 85 for you. Safford might get close to 90. I think they're going to be stopping at 89, but the warmest spots definitely across the area. Ajo and Sell is about 93 to 94 for both of you. And by Sunday, which should be the warmest day over the next 7, I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a 98 or 99 on that side of Pima County. Tomorrow morning is going to be more of the same, still pretty chilly for a lot of us out there. And eventually we are going to be looking at this high pressure center kind of starting to warm us up. So you see how it's kind of going to start to settle over places like Las Vegas and over Los Angeles. For us, I don't really think we're going to be seeing too much of an impact, say on Saturday. We're still going to be in the lower 90s for most of the area here. It's not going to be until Sunday that we really start to notice these temperatures. It has a lot to do with that high pressure center shifting over us before we have a cool down with this next low we're going to be tracking to start off next week. And you can see just how warm we're going to be during that time with 97 for a high on Sunday. You do see Monday and Tuesday starting to drop a bit with that temperature. Eventually by Wednesday, 84 is going to be your high, so things looking pretty good. But until then, we will be in the lower 90s, if not the upper 90s. Well, that was weather. Let's go ahead and check in with traffic.